Good morning. Today is the 5th of February. It's actually quite nice weather today. And this is Rivo's hub, which is in Poole. We are here for the Driven 24/7 gathering. As you can see, we've got plenty of merchandise and things on here. And we've got plenty of Abarth as well, because that's the way that it goes with Driven 24/7 channel. Tom is here with his Abarth. I've seen this quite a few times before actually. I think last time one of these events happened it wasn't working. But it is now, it's working fine. I forget with these Abarths, with all these little kind of nuances of trim and things like that, and slight differences, I do forget exactly what specification this one is. I think it's a pre-facelift one, this, judging by the rear lights. So I don't know exactly what year it is. It won't be a 2010. Personal plate obviously, but this has been done in these colours. It looks kind of interesting like this actually. And then we've got this 595 Competizione, 595C I think actually. This belongs to Amber's mother. I think it's like a sort of 2020 or something like that. It's quite a recent one. Obviously we've got the personal plate on this one as well. I think these are sort of at least like 165 horsepower, aren't they? So they're quite fast. And then we've got Alex from All Things Alex's car. This is a 1979 Austin Allegro 1300 Super. This car was actually in storage from the early 80s up until quite recently, and the paintwork's mainly original. The wings and bonnet have been repainted because the car had an accident around 1981 and then was laid up for years because the owner gave up driving after the accident, and then I think he passed away sadly, and it just lived in storage for many years. But yeah, it's a very original car and it's in daily use, which is just sort of remarkable really, isn't it? Sort of a rival to my Driver Classic in that way. I have driven an Allegro on my channel before. It was also a two-door like this one, a much earlier one. This is a 79. The one I drove was in blaze red, one with a Quartic steering wheel, which is owned by another person called Alex from Alex's Assets. There's a review of that on my channel. Look up Secondhand Classics, Allegro Super Deluxe, I'm sure you'll find it. This is of particular interest to me and to a lot of other people as well. This is a 2000 Ford Fiesta Mark V 1.6 Zetec-S. Zetec-S is really strange because it's not just the trim level for the car, it also describes the engine. The engine actually says Zetec-S on it. This is owned by Martin, who is Amber's fiance, and I quite like this actually. So many Mark V Fiestas you see these days, obviously they were top-selling car at the time, are a bit sort of grotty and they're a bit scabby. Mark V Fiestas do like to rust. This is no exception. It's got a little bit of rust on it down there. Little tiny bit on the rear tailgate, a little bit this side, but actually this is quite a clean car for one of these. It's pretty good. The interior is really nice on this. It's got a brand new steering wheel on it. If I ask Martin very nicely, he might be able to let me have a go in this. I don't know if he will though. It sort of depends really, but there we go. I'd like to have a go in that view. The paint is really good on this as well. It's excellent condition. It's just got this, so yeah, it's very exciting. And then we've got this crazy smart thing. This is the famous Volkswagen Group 1.8 turbo engine. Wanted everything. Skoda Octavia, Golf, Seat Leon, and Audi TT, Audi A3, tons of cars. And in this particular application, in this Smart for 2, it develops something like 200 horsepower. So it's had a 5-speed manual put in it. These would originally come with the semi-auto. It's a little bit Heath Robinson, but I've seen a video of this car doing really crazy performance. Nothing like the smart car that I drove last month. Thank you very much. Look at that. And look at all those gauges. A few more gauges than standard. But it's still got the original kind of smart composite door and things like that. Just amazing. You know, you don't argue with something like this. It's a bit faster than the original engine, I'd imagine, with one of these. I thought the Smart Brabus I drove was pretty crazy when I'd had that last month, but it's nothing in comparison with this. This Chevy Beauville van is here. I don't even actually know what engine's in this. I'm going to be very careful, viewers, because sometimes these have engines in them but we can't talk about on the channel. Thanks to the Mayor of London and all his friends around the country. Got to be a bit sort of careful with these, but I don't even know what year this is. I imagine 1970s, 1980s, something like this. But the I don't really know much about this sort of stuff, so we'll continue. Say on the plate, sometimes I give you the year when they report it, but don't. Ooh, a Volkswagen Lupo. Oh wow! Actually, I've on the channel quite soon. I've got a set of Rossa coming up, and they're very similar to these. It's the Lunar Special Edition. I imagine this will either be the 1 litre or 1.4, because most of them were. But didn't make a lot of money for Volkswagen. They didn't sell anywhere near the number of these that they really wanted to, and so the problem is that they discontinued them really quite soon after they sort of came in. Discontinued about 2004, which is about 97, I think. But yes, a shortened Mark III Polo chassis. And we've got an E36 with quite a lot of work's been done to this. It's one of the straight 6 ones. It's quite a wing on there, so I don't know obviously what year this is, but that'll be fast. Particularly because we've got most of the interior trim has been taken out. Ooh, an NC MX-5. Quite like these actually. This is a facelifted one, so it would be after about 2011, I think, was facelift for these. Something like that. Oh, it's a 6-speed. Don't know exactly what trim is, but one I've driven was a Sport Black, and those all had a 6-speed gearbox like this does. Don't know what trim this is. Obviously, it's been modified. Someone's put a personal plate on it, so I don't know. Equally, this old bay window is looking like it's going to have a bit of work. Somebody obviously we had mobility issues with it. Got a steering wheel ball on there, but yeah, it's probably not got an engine in it. These are worth an awful lot of money now if they're all done up, and this one looks actually pretty solid, to be honest. It looks pretty good. There's a little bit of rust on it and stuff, but nothing too serious. That's probably going to be looking quite nice quite soon. Also got Puma here. Does the Puma ST even exist at the moment? I'm not very good on these. Obviously the Fiesta is on the way out now. Puma ST. Is this the same engine as in the Fiesta ST with 1.53 cylinder? Answers in the comment section below. I don't know an awful lot about these, to be honest, viewers. It's the same colour as a lot of these Mark II Focus RS500s were. Yes, I'm afraid we had to come in a Rover today, viewers, because the Volvo, well, we all know it's a bit poorly. I was really planning on taking a Volvo today, but unfortunately it didn't happen, so we're coming this instead. I should have cleaned my engine a bit, shouldn't I? It's company that I've got, but never mind. At least Roger's sitting there and Roger's happy, because Roger's always happy. It's happy alpaca. Ooh, an Autozam. Autozam AZ1. It's a bit dangerous leaving there the keys in. Let's have a look inside then. I don't think I've ever seen inside one of these. Little tiny thing made by Mazda. Oh, it's only got manual windows in it. I wonder if you could get electric windows. Engine, I think, is under here. Yes. It's pretty certain, isn't it, all those intakes and things. I'm not sure if I recognise much of a switchgear being out of a Mazda, but there we go. I think these were limited to something like 80 miles an hour from memory. Very nice aerodynamics. That's a crazy little thing. Yes, made by Mazda. I think they're also badged as a Suzuki in certain bits. Obviously never sold over here. Jay would say that's a 91 and 92. It's not quite me, but it looks like a lot of fun. These cars are worth a lot of money actually now. I think they're worth at least £15,000. Mr. Pink from West Country Minis is around. Those of you who are familiar with the Isle of Wight adventure we went on last year will no doubt recognise Mr. Pink. He's just bought this. He's offloading some of his mini collection, and he's buying some other stuff now, including this. It's a 2005 Mini Cooper S VR53. Have the supercharger in here, I imagine, and a 6-speed gearbox. Now, before you say, can you drive this car? I could ask Mr. Pink if I could have a go, but I've got one of these coming up on the channel at some point. Someone's actually offered me one, so it will happen at some point. That's a very nice one, though, that. We have some Fiesta STs. Yeah, these are both Mark 8s. Obviously, the Fiesta is going out of production in a couple of months. That one looks a bit more standard than this one. And well, they either came out about, I think, late 2017, so they're not particularly old, are they? And here's a Mark 7 for comparison. It's a very late Mark 7, actually. This, as far as I remember, the 5-door ST only came in the last couple of years of the Mark 7 being made. I would tell you the years, but they're all personal plates, so I don't know. I have driven both a Mark 8 and a Mark 7 on the channel before. I've actually sourced Mark 7 for a client back in the day, and she still loves it. It's worth like more than she paid for it in 2021 now. Ooh. There were 3 Ami Ones here. Afraid one of them has now left. We've actually got something interesting going on here. We've got one car with the colour pack, which is one belongs to Amber's parents. Is this one here. This one's without the colour pack. These wheel trims are actually kind of slightly sort of homemade. They're all the same colour. This is the way that they come, and they're not technically cars. They're known as a quadricycle. See if Amber's father will very kindly let me have a look inside his one. I've had a look inside one already that's just left, but so I'm a bit more familiar with them. This is Amber's Starlet. This is the final generation Starlet. Memory, I think it's like a 96 or 97. At some point, I think she does intend to do something with the wheels. I think there's been some issue with them or something. This is a UK market car. You can tell because the number plate aperture is actually kind of standard for UK plates, but it's got the Japanese style ones on it. I've always wanted to drive one of these. Actually, it was a sort of car that when I was university was a sort of cheap runaround. One of my friends had one of these. He had it in salmon pink. It was a 3-door. They all have the same engine in this country. It's a 1.3. In other countries you get other engines, but Toyota never really marketed the Starlet very much over here because I think it wasn't like other Toyotas which were made in Derbyshire. Things like the Corolla by the stage were. It was the fact that this is a bit expensive to sort of import from Japan, so they sort of undermarketed a bit. This time, I think it was the Carina E. This time was being built in Derbyshire. I can't remember when the E110 Corolla started being made up in Derbyshire. Maybe it's a bit later than that, but these were only made in Japan for our market. A lot more common in other countries than over here. I just got one of the new Star 24/7 stickers. I'll have to give her one of mine as well to put to go in there. Ooh, got some more stuff here, viewers, and we've got some quite tasty stuff here. Ooh, a Skyline. Is this an R33 Skyline? I think it might be. Yes. P registration 96, 97. Goodness knows how much this is worth. Ooh, can you fit a rear wiper to these wheels? I think you can. Yeah, more Abarth action. So it's a post-facelift one with those rear lights. It's funny that these only have a 5-speed in them, isn't it? It's only got a 5-speed. And that one's had sort of custom front end on it, hasn't it? I might be wrong. We've got some carbon fibre bits on it. So yeah, I think all these Abarths have personal plates on them. Most people are very proud of them. First one's got a more standard sort of looking front end. Hello to W99ADR on Instagram. Yes, that's a facelift one as well. Ooh, a Toyota Corolla T-Sport. Oh, wow. So yeah, 2005 to 6. James Martin had one of these on his channel on JM on Cars, and Amber's owned one of these too. Hello to Macaulay _ South on 97 on Instagram. I'd like to have a go in one of these. I think it'd be a lot of fun, actually. Even a standard one would do be. Apparently these were quite well engineered cars. If they were, I don't know why, back in the day they were not very well regarded. I think it was literally just because they weren't very interesting, or supposedly. But this looks interesting to me. Mr. Bill from Fuel Power is here too. Hello, Mr. Bill.
Hello, Blockset.
Branded merchandise again today, sir.
Yes, naturally.
Excellent. Ooh, a little 1 Series here. I've just driven one of these on the channel. Oh, viewers. It's got a beige leather interior. I do like a nice beige leather interior. That's good. Always happy to see a car promoting mental health. It's very important. And there's Rowan Atkinson and Mr. Bean's Holiday. So 6-speed. I don't know what engine's in this. The a 1 Series convertible I drove, which it was a very early one to 2008. This is a slightly later one to 2009, and the coupe. There might be some kind of sort of massive engine lurking in there, because they did make these engines up to 3 litres, but I don't know what engine that's in. I have to do a plate check. We've got another BMW here. My gosh, it's a sort of brave colour, isn't it? But it looks like it's a sort of custom one. Hello to Y3H _ M3 on Instagram. M3 competition. Wow, it's a valuable car. Oh, it's Scirocco. I think I've seen this one before. Hello to S_. S90 _ DWT on Instagram. My gosh, that's been lowered. That must be on sort of air ride hydraulics or something like that. Goodness me. Oh, and got a. This is an E90. Like my mum had 2 of these actually. Hers with the E91. Those is the Touring. A pre-facelift 55 plate and a 10 plate. Hello to X17CX, I presume that's the registration number of the car. Oh yes, it is. So I think I have the car too. And we've got a current generation Fergus. Hello to V21GJG on Instagram. Manual, excellent. Has that got one of the standard handbrake in it? They don't, do they? I have driven one of these views. It wasn't an ST like this one was. It was an ST Line X with the 1 litre engine. But that looks very fancy. That. Oh, and first generation TT as well. Excellent. That must be on some kind of air ride as well. Surely you can't be going over speed bumps like that. Mr. Bill is here. Unfortunately, he's not had time to clean the car. Unfortunately, been busy yesterday. Also, he's been with me at the Wilson Motor Museum, which is quite a long way from where others live. So, not a surprise there. Afraid we're going to have to skip both of those views because we don't talk about certain types of engine on this channel, thanks to the Mayor of London and his friends. And nice, oh, it's a Unos. Excellent. They are a lot of fun, these. The problem is when I drove a Unos a few years ago, unlike this one, it wasn't with a hard top. The car was so sort of shaky, the mount fell off the windscreen during the review, which has happened before. I think we're also going to have to skip this one as well, viewers. I know what engine's in that, so we've got to uphold the standards of the channel, and you know, unfortunately, not a fan of the Mayor of London, I'm afraid. Not a fan of he's not a friend of the channel at all. Ooh, a GT86. Excellent. These do look like a lot of fun, viewers. So yeah, co-developed with Subaru, and I think the second generation one is also developed with Subaru. I don't think you can buy that one over here though. I think you can buy one of these, but they're sold out or something, the second generation one. But you can still buy second hand. This is quite an early one. They came out in 2012, I think. This is a 2013. Was that originally a Toyota UK press car or something? Because they used to, I think they still are on the kind of late G plates, so you know, GU, GX, that kind of stuff. Ooh, a Mark IV Supra. Ooh, yes. Very, very nice. This is an auto. Could get a manual, of course, as well. They're worth a lot of money, these now. They are very valuable. One thing I'm quite enjoying, though, viewers, is this. Because it's got a beige leather interior and wood. I do like a nice beige leather interior. What if this is for sale? What's it say here? Oh, it is for sale. Mr. Bill from Fuel Power says this could be yours. Oh, it's a C280. Excellent, viewers. Contact Len on 07743 670 985. Quite like that, viewers. Very nice. And we've got more Mercedes action here with this S-Class. You can pick these up for like not a lot of money now, and if obviously suspension is not working, this does have, I think, air suspension in it, then they tend to be a bit problematic, and they do have issues like with this little wheel arches here, but that is a lot of car for not a lot of money. 350Z, 2003. Another Focus, the Mark III ST. This place is getting a little bit sort of cramped, isn't it? There's a lot of people here today. Some of them obviously I don't think are part of the gathering that's here. I think we're going to have to skip this Mercedes. Let me just check if we skip this or not. Just hold on a second, viewers. I was right to be cautious, viewers. That Mercedes has got an engine that we can't discuss on the channel. We can, however, discuss this. Locally registered SW20 MR2. It's quite a late one. I'd say this is quite sort of far through production. I think they lasted from 1990 to 2000. And this is not the turbo one. I think with these rear lights, we're looking sort of, I don't know, Rev 4, Rev 5, I don't know. Not very good at this sort of thing, do you? Certainly I know the later ones have this different rear end, and this will be a UK car because the nozzle aperture is sort of rectangular rather than square. So hello to EMB_visuals on Instagram. It's quite a handsome car, this. I don't know if those wheels are original or not, but they look really nice. That's very nice. And then we've got another Mark 8 Fiesta. Hello to Mark 8 Jake 2002, it says here. Escorts has just turned up, but I have a feeling this is owned by Amber's brother, actually. It's so on an F, so 87 to 88 Escort Mark 4 1.4L, and I have driven a silver Mark 3 1.3L, which was a sort of predecessor to this, and it does look a bit smarter. People are sort of divided as to whether the 1.3 Mark 3 and 1.4L Mark 4 are better. I think this looks better than a Mark 3. I don't know if it's a better car. I've never driven a Mark 4 Escort, so I wouldn't be able to say. Also got this Subaru SVX here, and someone's a massive fan of Initial D because they've got the Red Suns kind of what do you call it? The sort of stripe at the top. I can't remember what those are called. There's a special name for those. Shade band. That's a shade band at the top. Apparently, according to the chap who owns this, there are only about 30 of these on the road in this country. It makes it quite a rare car. Unfortunately, not a very big success for Subaru. They didn't make nearly as many as they expected. Japanese bubble economy, etc., all this kind of thing. But yeah, that is interesting. Lloyd Consulting stickers, t-shirts and mugs are available by clicking the link to the Google form in the video description below. Okay, viewers, I've asked Amber's father Jerry if I can have a look inside. So this has the colour pack on it. Look at this. So that's as far as the doors open. They are interchangeable on either side. So the colour pack gives you some mats, gives you these nets on here, gives you this little phone holder here, gives you this dash insert, gives you these wheel trims, gives you this little sticker on there. So quite a lot of things, and most people do opt for the colour pack at about £3 £400. It's very basic in here, isn't it? Very basic, but like a net. That's quite handy if you have a shopping, because there's no boot in this car. So if you kind of want to put your shopping in there, then it stops it sliding onto the pedals when you're actually cornering, which is good because you don't want, I don't know, something trapped under the pedals when you're trying to brake. That would be bad. Apparently on these, the ignition key is this one, and that is for the doors, and there's no central locking or anything. It's like a sort of car from the the early 80s or something like that. So yeah, it's very there's no aircon in this. You don't get it. The gear, well, not really. It's not a gear lever. It's just buttons for forward and back. Neutral that's what you get. There's no sort of park position. Instead, you get this old-fashioned handbrake. I think these are around £9,000. Plastic steering wheel, very fine little display. There's not really much to go wrong, but there's not much of anything really at all. You can see on here, this metal cage is actually the thing that protects you, which is good. It's like going around a little rally car or something like that. You sit very, very far back if you're the passenger, really, really far back. It's not, but the driver's still quite far forward as well. That's fantastic. I always wanted to have a look inside one of these. It's like the sort of reverse of a Fiat Panda door handle. As well, the rear of the car, well, it's not actually really a car, it's a quadricycle. It's the same as the front, and this is the colour they come in. This is it. If you want some more stickers like this, you've got to pay extra. I mean, you could customise it if you wanted to. Range is about 45 miles apparently. You just plugs into the wall. It's quite funny how it does it as well. The plug's actually in here. Yeah, it's just in here. That's how you plug it in. It's a continental style plug. If I can get this out. There you go. That's how you plug it in. Not even joking. Which is crazy. Ooh, that sounds quite good actually. That's fruity. So there we are, viewers. So obviously come to the end of the first sort of part of the meeting, and the end of time here for some people. So thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like us, leave a comment below, and we shall see you again soon for more inaccurate information.